Okay, well, the 2022 prospect rankings were released. This was very interesting. I know Peter's going to have some opinions about the top 5, but before we get into it, the prospect rankings is brought to you by our friends at Draft Kings, baby. I gotta find the read, baby. Where is it? Woo-hoo. Got it. Wow, Peter's got a box. Kentucky's out. Kentucky's out of March Madness. That was wild. St. Peter's advanced again. College basketball fans, join in on the action on the court during the biggest tournament of the year with DraftKings Sportsbook and Maddie Mass's Villanova. What's their mascot? Wildcats. Turn the Villanovas or anybody's team victory into your own big win. New customers can bet just $5 on any team to win and get $200 in free bets. If they do win, it's that simple. If you win, they win, but it's supposed to be if they win, you win. But like everybody will win if one of you wins. So if the sportsbook isn't available in your state yet, you can still join the college hoops action with DraftKings pools. Everyone can play free pools all March long for a shot at a share of over $250,000. Simply join a pool and answer questions like who will make it to the next round and who will hit the most 3-pointers, and then track your results. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code JOMBOY. Bet $5 on any college hoops team to win and get $200 in free bets if they do. If they win, you win with promo code JOMBOY this week at DraftKings Sportsbook. 21 and up. Restrictions apply. See show notes for details. Love our friends at DraftKings.
Well done. Well done, Kil.
All right. So the biggest thing with when you look at even just the top 5 in the 2022 prospect rankings is that our guy, well, Peter's guy, Bobby Witt Jr. overtook Adley Rutschman for the #1 spot in the prospect rankings.
I had a conversation just last night with a friend of mine in the Royals organization who told me that he's already a Hall of Famer based on what he's seen. He is the strongest in the weight room. He's the fastest. It's like he's been manufactured in a lab to be the perfect baseball player, is what I'm understanding from everything that I'm hearing from people.
Give me a percentage of him cracking opening day.
97.
Whoa. Love that. 97?
Yeah.
6'1", 200 pounds. He was born in the year 2000. That
he has all the records in the weight room. He has all the records in the Royals weight room.
Jeez. Drafted in 2019.
Because I trust the 2 people that have told me these things. It's not like it's just I'm reading an article of some reporter that's heard it from some guy that saw him do a bicep curl.
Yeah.
Like the 2 people that I'm hearing this from are people that I trust and people that know the Royals organization as well. So I honestly cannot wait. It's going to be really exciting. And this is what makes me excited about this podcast, is that we get to see these guys and learn about these guys before they come up. Now, obviously everybody gets to learn about these guys, but we get to get them on the radar before they're even on the radar, if that makes sense. So,
and if you're not familiar with Bobby Witt Jr., like Peter Moylan is, he's the 21-year-old Royals shortstop. He was drafted 2nd overall in 2019. If you look at what he did last season between AA and AAA, 123 games, he hit 290, 33 home runs, 35 doubles, 97 RBI, 29 stolen bases, 575 slugging, 936 OPS.
Is Mickey Mantle.
Oh. Okay.
He's Mickey Mantle.
And this is the point that I was making on the second half of the slide. Those numbers alone deserve to be the #1 prospect in baseball.
Yeah.
Right.
However, I was thinking of it, like when you play ping pong and you have to beat the champion twice in order to become the champion. I feel like Adley kind of got jumped and it's not like Adley messed up at all.
See, you know how I feel about rankings in general. It's a lot to do with someone's opinion. So
you love rankings, especially when they change the rankings every week.
Love it. I think it's the most consistent way to turn fans off your team or other people's teams instantly. It's like, whoa, I guess it sparks debate. It gets people talking about particular things, right? And I guess we're talking about it as well. Does Adley Rutschman deserve to lose his number one spot based on what they both did last year? And it's probably a pretty good question, Matty.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing for me was Adley only got named the number one prospect in August because Wander Franco made his MLB debut. So since August, when he got named the number one prospect, Adley was playing really good baseball too. And
yeah,
I mean, Adley Rutschman obviously doesn't care about being the number one prospect. Like, he doesn't care about the number that he's ranked. Doesn't change anything. But is there a part of him that's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
I didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and the numbers that you put on the slide. So you were saying that Adley got named number one after Wander in August. So you look at since August, you compare Adley Rutschman and Bobby Witt Jr. Adley Rutschman hit 304 compared to Bobby Witt Jr.'s 277. Bobby Witt Jr. had 9 more doubles. Adley had more triples. Bobby had more home runs, more RBI, more stolen bases. He did have more strikeouts. They were very close in walks. So the biggest difference is the average. And then Bobby Witt Jr. kind of overtook him in almost every other category that we really consider. But like, yeah, I mean, he hit 304 since he was named the top prospect in baseball, and he still got dethroned. But I mean, what Peter was saying about Bobby Witt Jr., you talk to anybody in baseball, and this is the guy who people are talking about. This is the guy who people are ready to see what he can do up there. You don't hear as many people talking about Adley Rutschman the way that people do Bobby Witt Jr. No slight at Adley, though.
Right. Here's another point, is that Bobby Witt's going to start in the big leagues. So within a couple of weeks, Adley's going to be number one prospect again anyway. So unless Adley is Rushman isn't scheduled to break with the team, right? He's not.
He's hurt right now.
Right.
We'll get into a little bit more of that later, but he is hurt. I think it was his triceps.
That just happened this week, didn't it?
Happened. Yeah. I mean, it happened. Recently. And I think I just saw that he was supposed to be out for like 2 or 3 weeks, but then he has to do whatever he has to do to come back.
Okay. Maddie, was he scheduled? What's the word I'm looking for? Was he projected to make opening day before he got hurt?
I'm sure with the Orioles.
When we last looked at their projected games in the beginning of February, Adley was projected 95 games.
Okay.
Currently on Fangraphs, projected 98 games, and he's injured.
Okay.
I'm thinking that just means that he's starting opening day basically and ready to go.
Right. Correct.
So we ended 2021 with the top 5 being Adley Rutschman 1, Julio Rodriguez 2, Bobby Witt Jr. 3, Spencer Torkelson 4, Marco Luciano 5, CJ Abrams 6. Then you look at the start of this season, it's now Bobby Witt Jr., Adley Rutschman, Julio Rodriguez. So Julio Rodriguez also dropped a spot. Spencer Torkelson stayed at 4. Marco Luciano dropped all the way to 13, and Riley Green overtook that top 5 spot with Grayson Rodriguez right behind him. So there was actually a lot of movement in that top 10. CJ Abrams dropped, but he's obviously coming back from that injury. Anthony Volpe, is that how you say it? Anthony Volpe? Volpe, love that even more than Volpe, moved up. There's a lot of movement in here.
Yes.
Brennan Davis dropped to 15, only from
Shane
14.
Baz hits the list too.
Yeah.
He'll win the big leagues this year too, I think. Like this is, I don't see a lot of these guys being on this list. That's what I just said. There's 7 shortstops on the list out of 15, which is, I mean, I played shortstop growing up. Usually the best athletes do play shortstop growing up. So,
well, I mean, you're the best athlete for sure.
I certainly was. I was basically Bobby Witt Jr. when I was coming.
Were you really good in Australia, like growing up?
So I was on a scale of the world, I wasn't a very good athlete. But when you just break it down to Australia, I was a pretty good track athlete. My first ever track event, I competed in 8 events. Yeah. So I was
tiring
like 100, 200, long jump, triple jump, high jump, discus, shot put. And I think it was a relay was the last one. But it was, I did it all so I used to love all that sort of stuff. But the other thing, I think I've said this before, I and my generation would try and get my hands on as many games or sports as I could possibly do growing up. So I could I tried everything. There was no sport that I would shy away from. So I think that has allowed me to be okay at a lot of sports, as opposed to don't put a basketball in my hand if you're going to ever. Don't pick me in a basketball. If JOMBOY ever has a pickup basketball game, I look like I should be picked.
No, we're a blitzball company.
Thank you. Correct.
Okay, so some of the biggest takeaways from the changes in the prospect rankings. The top 8 prospects, all AL guys. Not one NL guy in the top 8. CJ Abrams being the first guy.
That also makes sense, just because when we drafted who we thought rookie of the years would be, it was like heavy AL. So. Yeah.
Blue Jays catcher, Gabriel Moreno. Why do I struggle with names?
Moreno.
Went up from 32 to 8. He was injured most of last season from June to September. He spent most of the season in AA. He had 32 games, hit 373, 8 home runs, 9 doubles, a 1 OPS. And then you look at what he did in Arizona Fall League, 22 games, hit 329 with a home run, 11 doubles, 904 OPS. And then we just talked about Yankees shortstop, Anthony Volpe.
That's right? A lot of homers, Maddie. That's a lot of homers for a shortstop.
That's combined. I mean, the homers 27 with the 33 stolen bases.
Yeah.
And he hit 294 in
Is
low
that
A
why the
and
Yankees
A.
didn't go get a shortstop yet? They went and got Marwin Gonzalez. That's your shortstop, huh?
Well, Kiner Falefa, but
is he going to start?
That's their projected shortstop right now.
Okay.
The other takeaways, which Peter kind of noted, Shane Baz moving up from 19 to 12. He had some big league time last year. Anything else you wanted to say? Jack Leiter dropped. I don't like that.
I didn't know what that reaction was for. I thought you must have
Jack Leiter dropped from 12 to 17.
He hasn't pitched yet.
I know, but that was
his quads alone should keep him in the top 15. His quads alone.
Gosh, I'm so excited to see what he's able to do in his first pro year, just like actually pitching.
I think if there's any takeaways from this list, it's that MLB is actually doing a good job in correcting their previous mistakes, which in every other aspect of the game they don't do. But they probably ranked Jack Leiter a little too high, and they probably should have just made Witt number 1 back in August. Hey, correct the things that you did wrong before, I guess.
Well, they corrected Mckenzie Gore.
Yeah, oh man. Someone needs to correct
Poor Mckenzie Gore, man. Mckenzie Gore. We talked about him a ton at the start of last year because he was baseball's 3rd ranked prospect.
Yeah.
And he was not good last year and dropped 83 spots. I had to do the math. I'm not a math pod. Dropped from 3 to 86 going into 2022. He's with the Padres, left-handed pitcher. There was so much hype around him that everybody's hoping that he's able to sort it out this season. Because in 2019, he started 20 games in AA, had a 169 ERA, 135 Ks to only 28 walks. But in 2021, he played at 4 different levels, started in AAA, 585 ERA after 6 starts, missed the next 2 months, and then went to rookie ball where he shoved, which he should shove in rookie ball. Then he moved to high A where he got roped again, 540 ERA. 1 start. And then AA, he made 2 starts where he landed on a 3 ERA. And then he goes to Arizona Fall League, which is where they were really hoping he'd be able to figure out. And he did worse than he's ever done and posted a 635 ERA in 3 games. Then he was taken off the roster. So Mckenzie Gore, that's sad.
He just had his first outing of spring 2 days ago and looked good. So the word on the street is that, obviously in far too early predictions, he's hopefully made some improvements to whatever was going on last year. But there's something in there, obviously. So hopefully he can find it and get off to. It might be a change of scenery thing too. Maybe it seems like it might be mechanical. It seems like I don't know what it is, but we'll see. We'll see.
He needs his pitching coach, Peter Moylan.
Oof, hello, come pitch for the Aces.
Listen to the full episode wherever you consume your podcasts, or by clicking the link on the screen now.